hi there, food friends. It's Kevin.
It sure is, and I'm Ralph. I'm behind the camera.
And welcome to Cavalcade of Food.
Vintage Housewares edition, it looks like.
Vintage Housewares edition, Ralph. And today we are looking at Lazy Susans.
Not Bossy Billy's.
No, but don't be a Lazy Susan. Be a Busy Betty, I say. Okay? But Lazy Susans were a very popular item in the mid-20th century, especially for entertaining. I have a few in the collection, and I thought I would share them with our food friends, Ral.
Good.
So let's take a look. And I just think these are fun. I use them occasionally when I entertain, and sometimes I use them for relishes, olives, pickles, other kind of pickled vegetables, raw veggies, things like that.
Everybody probably knows what they are, but explain the basics of what is a Lazy Susan.
A Lazy Susan is a multi-compartmental tray.
A rotating tray.
That rotates, generally, yes. So it spins around, has multiple compartments, so you can put a variety of things. I love to use these for candy.
Yeah.
Like, bring it out at dessert and put it in the middle of the table, and put all kinds of fun different candies in each section. So let's start with this one. Now, if this doesn't scream the 1950s, nothing does.
Love those colors.
Pink and black on a rotating base with these wonderful sort of geometrics. It's almost a kind of boomerang-ish, isn't it?
Yeah. Sort of atomic age shapes.
Very much so. I'm trying to see if any of these are marked.
What material is it?
It's pottery. So it's fragile. It's on a black base that turns. And California Pottery made a lot of these at one time. But I don't know who made this. If anybody knows, please share it. But I love this one. And this is just fun because of the colors and the shapes. Then here's one, and we come back to my old friend, anchor hocking early American press cut. And Ralph, they made a Lazy Susan, and this is basically the early American press cut Lazy Susan. And what they did, so smart the way that anchor hocking did this, they took their large tray, which they were producing anyways, and this is one of their bowls, which they were producing anyways. And they put it on a movable stand here. And then they made these sort of wedge-shaped inserts that go around the large tray.
So they almost repurposed an existing dish.
They did that with so many of their things in the early American press cut line. But it's actually a wonderful Lazy Susan because you've got 7 compartments here, and you can put a wonderful variety of things. And of course, it's in the beautiful early American press cut pattern.
Makes for a good party tray or relish tray for parties.
Very much so. Over here, look at this one.
Look at this number.
This is a big number, this one here. This is made by Miramar of California. It says on the bottom here.
That's pretty big.
And it is pretty big. And I'm thinking, and I don't know for certain, oh, here, it has a copyright date, 1955. So, there you go. I'm thinking this may have had a lid to it, the center section, which, by the way, you could also serve hot things here. This wouldn't keep them warm, but because it was ceramic, you're not limited to just cold stuff or room temperature stuff. You could put, you could fill this with soup or chili, and then you could put like cheese, onions,
crackers,
sour cream, right? All the little
Cornbread.
cornbread, great, yes, all the things that would go with the chili.
I could see, I could see Ethel and Lucy having fun with this around that time.
Yeah, but this centerpiece may have had a lid, and it probably cracked or got damaged. I never had the lid for it, if it did have a lid, and I only think that because there's a very slight edge on the inside here, which would hold the lid in place. But I love the colors. It's sort of this dark jade green with almost a celery heart green.
Yeah, there's something very plant-like about the design.
Yes, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Love this one. Over here, here's one that this is a relish tray of which I have many.
Yes.
Again, this is a example of how you multi-purpose things that you're already making. So here's a relish tray, and what they did is they came up with this little chrome
Base,
stand.
like a base for it.
Yep, and it would fit in here and kind of lock into that. Then they had the bowl, and that fit there. And this is a wooden lid that goes on top.
That's cool. What company is that?
I'm not sure. I think this is either Federal Glass or Federal, Indiana. One of those, Jeanette, one of those glass companies made this relish tray. Over here, look at this. You almost have the same color combination as this one. You have sort of this light green. I don't know who made this. Again, it's unmarked. But what I love on this one, Ral, is look at the turntable. It coordinates with sort of
the motif,
a light green leaf and the dark green leaf. And this, you have 4 sort of kidney-shaped little dishes with your center bowl right like that. That's a beauty.
Have you noticed how those colors are really coming back lately?
They are, and I'm glad they're coming back because I think they're cool. Over here, I've got a couple. Again, these are all ceramic. Here is a really lovely California pottery tray it's a 3-piece. So you can see it's all meant to sort of fit together like a puzzle.
It came with that wood base?
No, I don't know. I bought this, and this is, I think, just a standalone
item.
Lazy Susan for, like, you'd put it in the middle of your dining room table.
And then you could put anything you want
But
on
this
it.
fits perfectly on it, so I use it.
I see.
Sometimes the turntables, it depends. Some of them, if they were metal, they would get rusty, or the ball bearings would get gunked up and it wouldn't turn very well. A lot of these turntables were made out of wood, and they didn't last. Now here's one, again, with a wooden turntable. You can see what happens. You know, the varnish wears off, but and it just really moves on a ball bearing base. Also California pottery. This is 2, they almost look like paisleys, don't they, shaped, that fit together. And if you look, what I like about this, do you see what's in there? I don't know if
like a tomato?
A tomato. Yeah. So this is you have 2 large compartments and 2 small compartments.
They also kind of have that yin and yang.
It does, yin and yang, very much so, Ralph.
And there are some folks that say that the idea of the Lazy Susan goes all the way back to China because they used them for dim sum. And a lot of folklore. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, we've been in Chinese restaurants where there is a Lazy Susan in the middle of the table.
Yeah, for dim sum especially. Yeah. But other folklore says that Thomas Jefferson invented it, named it after his daughter Susan. But I don't know.
Oh, really?
I don't know.
Was she lazy?
Well, she was, needing help, I guess.
Okay. As we all do sometimes. Well, speaking of that, here's one sort of in an Asian motif. At least I think it is.
It is, yeah.
the blue and white, right? Very nice looking. And, you know, this is a 5-piece square center. Unlike most of these have a round center.
That's
but this
classy.
one is square.
Because you could put like your soy sauce in the middle.
You could.
Dipping sauces.
Different sauces, yes, it would be fun. And I think it's beautiful. Here's one that's sort of this beautiful scallop shape. California pottery. There you go, another one. And it's white. Here's a 5-piece center, but you know, it's sort of beautiful.
Design.
I saw an ad, I think, for this one actually in an old magazine, and they had cocktail sauce in the middle, and they had shrimp and fried clams, and I forget different seafoods in here, which kind of is nice, you know, because look at with the scallop sort of shell type thing, it kind of went together.
Yeah, it has a seafood entertaining kind of old-time party feel.
And then last but not least, I got this big kahuna here. Look at this. This is a 7 compartment center with lid made out of aluminum, Ralph.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, that's big.
So big. Again, the chili idea, the soup idea, but something in the center, and then you have these, and it's on a big high metal turntable, and you've got these pieces. You could do this any way you want. You could do it like this. Well, I don't know. I guess I'm not doing it right. Well, I guess there's only one way to do it.
Oh, you could rearrange them.
But anyways, however you want. But it does hold, and this is, like I said, an aluminum. Not sure who made this. No markings on the bottom or on the individual pieces, so I don't know. But yeah, I love this piece. And again, it's so red and black. I mean, it's so 50s.
It's a very poker party. I could see this being like a man cave kind of.
Think of all the snacks you could put in there.
Yeah,
pretzels and nuts and chips.
And the durability of it being metal, and then these little handles on each tray.
Yes,
So
very cool.
Yeah, I can see this, and the big size of the. Oops.
You want to take the lid off?
Yeah, trying to show how the size of that is. You know, like you could really feed a lot of hungry fellas at a poker party with that.
Sure could. Maybe this will be the next centerpiece at the next pinochle party.
Yeah.
Anyways, a great one. But these are just, again, some examples of Lazy Susans. And I always like to ask our food friends, Ralph, did you grow up with a Lazy Susan in the house? Did your mom have one, grandma, somebody that you knew that would come out on special occasions, or maybe you used it all the time? Some of these are so cool, it's a shame to just save them for holidays and things like that. But if you've got if there was a Lazy Susan in your life, or if there still is, why don't you share it with us in the comments below? We always love reading about that.
And Kevin loves to share his vintage housewares, and brings back a lot of nostalgic memories. People often comment about how it takes them back in time, and you know, that's kind of what it's all about, right, Kev?
It truly is, Ralph. That's, you know, one of the reasons why we like to do these videos, is it's because they spark a lot of memories with people, especially people of a certain generation. All right, I'm just saying. You know who you are, but these are things that we remember from our past. These are common everyday. Most of these, again, you know, this is department store, dime store stuff, but they were things that people had and people saw often. And it's all about connecting with those times. And for younger people, Ralph, who weren't around when these Lazy Susans were in regular use, sometimes they're seeing these things for the first time, and being like, wow, that is really cool. I'd like to get one of those or collect one of those. And so they're on the hunt for it at the thrift shops.
And it reminds you of a time when entertaining was really a part of everyday life, or weekends maybe. But you'd go to an aunt's house perhaps, and she'd have a fun Lazy Susan set up for parties, or
isn't that the truth?
Or your folks would do it for certain occasions, or as Kevin
Sunday
said,
dinner.
Yeah, as Kevin said, some families maybe used them pretty regularly on a daily basis. But give us your stories on the history in your family of a Lazy Susan, or something like a rotating tray that you used.
I love what you said, Ralph, about how this was when people took entertaining seriously. Not that entertaining should always be fun, but entertaining at home was a thing that people did regularly. And we don't do that much anymore. I still do it, but a lot of people just say, let's meet at a restaurant. And that's fine. It's great to see people, but boy, to go over somebody, to have someone welcome you into their home, to welcome people into your home, to be able to present food in fun ways like this.
Makes it special.
It makes it special, and it was really something that people did much more years ago than they do now.
And we often talk about how our parents made it look easy to entertain, but people have gotten so used to convenience and, like Kevin said, just popping over to a restaurant or meeting somewhere. But when you do it yourself, it does make it special, and young people should know that you can find these at thrift stores and estate sales.
Oh, they're out there.
They're out there.
Online. I mean, they're everywhere. If this is something that interests you. So, anyways, all that to say, thanks for taking this trip with us through the Lazy Susan collection here at the Cavalcade. Ralph, let's remind them the website is
cavalcadeoffood.com.
There it is. Check that out. We thank you for watching. We thank you for subscribing. If you haven't and would like to, please do so if you're so inclined.
It's fun to share the website with family and friends to spread the word so that we get more viewers.
And we will look forward to being back here with you real soon on Cavalcade of Food. Bye, everybody.